Hi, I'm Chris Ridenour, and today I'm going to talk about using Python in the open source game engine Godot. Why use Godot when Unity and Unreal are also free? Without getting too much on a soapbox, I find Godot to be a breath of fresh air. The hierarchy of nodes that encourages composition and the Python-esque batteries included approach enable you to get from idea to prototype incredibly quick. Next question, why add Python to Godot? It's true Godot ships with a Python-like scripting language called GDScript. It's actually pretty great and what I use on many projects. But some projects seem made for Python in the Python ecosystem, especially for procedural generation. We'll be using the add-on Godot Python, which includes a standalone Python environment for us to use. One type of project I believe can leverage the Python ecosystem is a roguelike game. We'll be using the popular TCOD library and some Creative Commons assets from Kenny. So now I'm in a brand new Godot project. The first thing I want to do is get Python. I'll go to the asset lib and search for Python. We'll use the non-PyPy version and start the download. When we install, we'll just choose the platform we care about. After a restart of the engine, we'll add our 2D scene. First, I like to rename all my scenes away from Node 2D. Then save. Next, we'll add a script. We can choose Python as language now. And here's our basic script. Save again. Now let's get our assets in the engine. Drag the tile map from our Kenny assets onto Godot to import. We can now see it in our File System tab. Next, we'll need a tile set to tell Godot how to use it, which I've already created off camera and you can get from this talk's resources. Now, let's add our Godot tile map node. We'll attach our tile set and can immediately see our available tiles. Next, we'll edit our sizes to match the asset. Next, let's jump over to a terminal inside the Python script folder in the project. We'll run ensure pip and then install our TCOD library. If, like me, you're running this on Windows, you'll need to add Python 3 DLL to your TCOD folder and packages. I've included the file in the talk's resources. Back to our terminal, we can now import TCOD in our project's Python. Inside our world.py, we can now start to use TCOD. We're using the binary space partitioner to generate dungeon rooms. I followed TCOD's tutorial to get this far. I also want to paint the empty tile, number 15, over the whole map. We can see the index of our tiles back in the 2D tab by selecting the map. I've done a very rough and basic build room function to set the tiles in the tile set. First, we get a reference to our tile map, which I've named structure. Then we loop through the outside coordinates and try and intelligently set the wall tiles. Inside build hallway, I try and layer on a matrix of tiles between the rooms I'm told to connect from TCOD. And here's our first result. Not great, but not bad. We have rooms which are connected, and we let TCOD do all the work. The hard-coded hallways show their limitations here, but that's a solvable problem. One thing I don't like is that grid pattern. Back in Godot, we'll select our tile map that we imported earlier, go to the Import tab. We'll disable filtering, re-import, and run the scene. This generation looks even better and has no grid. I hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit about Godot and Godot Python. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.